everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Today I'm doing an updated perfume collection. I haven't done one of these videos since the beginning of the year, I believe. So I'm so excited to let you guys know all the new fragrances in my collection. For me, I normally really like Gourmand fragrances. So anything that kind of smells like food, I love. But I'm starting to get into different scents and I'm starting to be a lot more open when it comes to my fragrances. So I'm gonna jump right in and let's get started. So I'm actually gonna start with some fragrances that are new to my collection. So this first one is by the brand called ELOREA. This is actually a Korean perfume brand and I've been following the brand for a while and I always wanted to purchase something, but I was a little bit worried because I like to smell fragrances before I buy them and I just couldn't do it with this one until they actually opened up their first flagship store here in Manhattan. So it is located in Soho. I actually went there on their grand opening, I believe, and the store is really beautiful. It's very minimal, and they also have a cafe in the back so you can order like coffee, and they also sell chocolate which pairs with the perfume. I didn't try it out, but it's supposed to be like a tasting slash smelling experience, so you might have to pre-book it before you go, but I really do like that it's a very immersive studio, and they also sell candles as well as hand wash. So yeah, I really liked everything that was in there. So I went to go smell it, and the first fragrance that I smelled was this one called Heaven. I did end up buying the sampler, but this one stood out the most to me. This is from their Elements collection. So if you guys have ever seen the Korean flag, they have like these symbols in each corner of it and they all represent a different element. So this one is Heaven, and this is by far my favorite, and I feel like it's so sentimental to me as well because my boyfriend actually bought it for me, and just having a Korean fragrance just meant a lot to me. So first impressions of this, it's floral, but it's like a little spicy, and it's also sweet too. So the top notes are Posong green tea, bergamot, pink pepper. So that's kind of like that spicy note that I get. The heart notes are rose, jasmine, sambac, and freesia. And then the base notes are patchouli, amber, musk, and vanilla. So basically the top notes are the first notes that you're gonna smell initially when you spray it. The middle notes when it starts to dry down, and then the base notes is when the perfume has completely settled into your skin. I will say that the notes all are true to the smell. When it dries down, it definitely is like a vanilla kind of warm, but it's also fruity too. You'll see a lot of the fragrances that I have that same kind of feel to it, but I've used a ton of this and I really feel like this is a great everyday fragrance. I don't feel like it's going to be too overpowering for anyone's nose, and I think that a lot of people will like this. Okay, so the second fragrance that I have from their brand is called Hazy Blue. This is a part of their Forgotten Words collection, and this one I would recommend more if you're into that clean fragrance style, especially if you like unisex fragrances. Okay, so this is, I would describe as more of an aquatic fragrance. So the notes on these are upcycled bergamot, cool ozone accord. The heart notes are upcycled orange flower water, lily of the valley, jasmine petals, and the base is sandalwood, amber, and musk. So when you smell this, you definitely get aquatic. I think of when I smell this, I think of like you know, like those fish tanks, but I think of clear blue water, like swishing, and just, I don't know how to explain it, but definitely very aquatic. But it also has a very heavy musk smell. So this is a really nice unisex fragrance. I feel like a man or a woman could wear this. If I were to first initially spray this, it wouldn't be my first pick, but this is something that my boyfriend picked out for me, so obviously it has that sentimental value to me. But I don't tend to go for like very clean or aquatic fragrances, but this is a really nice touch if you want to just like run errands in it. I picture someone like spraying this on when you're wearing like a crisp white blouse and some jeans, or if you're going to the office, just very clean, something that's not too overpowering. I personally like to wear this when I go to the gym because I don't want something that's too heavy. So I really do like this fragrance. And these fragrances come in 2 different sizes. So this is the 3.4 fluid ounce and this is the 1.7 fluid ounce. And all of these are under $200, which I feel like is really good for fragrances. So some other fragrances that are new to my collection, these are by the brand called BYREDO. I remember the first time I smelled BYREDO was back in like 2020 or something. And I initially heard about this brand because of the fragrance Gypsy Water. And it was so popular, just like the glass bottle looks so just sleek and just like modern and clean. So I remember I went to go smell it, and I believe this is the first fragrance that I had smelled. This is called Bal de Freak, and I believe this was new at the time. So the notes on this are Amalfi lemon, tagetis, I don't know. It looks like a flower. Bergamot, black currant. The middle note is African orange flower. Oh wait, that's still the top note. The middle notes are violet, cyclamen, jasmine, and the base notes are vetiver, musk, amber, and Virginia cedar. This is another one of those clean fragrances when you smell it in the bottle, but I feel like it does smell a little bit different on my skin. I do think that it pulls a little bit more warm, a little vanilla-ish, a little floral, but you do still have that clean note to it. I definitely think that clean note comes with the jasmine and the violet. Like, it's watery, but imagine if you were to, like, you're washing clothes and you open up the wash machine, like when it's all soapy. That's what it smells like to me. It smells like a Gain detergent, but not in a bad way. Like, it smells good, but it's like kind of soapy in a way, if that makes any sense. But really nice. This is another fragrance that I like to wear before the gym. Very clean, I guess, but a good everyday fragrance as well. Okay, the next fragrance I have from BYREDO is actually called Pulp. When I smelled this, I was just like immediately in love. Like, let me just read the notes to you for this fragrance. Okay, so the top notes are blackcurrant, bergamot, and cardamom. The middle notes are fig, red apple, tiara flower, and the base notes are praline, peach blossom, and cedar. So actually, when I smell this, it does not smell like any of those notes except for the red apple to me. The way I would describe this fragrance is if you have a plate and you have like lemons laying on the plate, and you just cut a fresh orange and you squeeze the orange on top of the lemon, and then that like zest flows up. That's the best way I could describe this. This is very, very citrusy, and if you are not a fan of citrus, you're not gonna like this fragrance, but I happen to love citrus, and this just like, it just smells so like fresh and juicy. Oh my god, it just smells so, it smells so freaking good. Okay, another fragrance that I added to my collection, this was actually a gift. This is by the brand Creed, and this is in the scent Love in White. I have seen Creed fragrances all over, and they're very popular, and they're also very expensive. So one of my clients actually gave me this fragrance, and I was just blown away. But this is Love in White, and the top notes on this are orange peel. The middle notes are magnolia, rice, narcissus, is that a flower? Italian jasmine, iris, Bulgarian rose, and then the base notes are ambergris, sandalwood, and vanilla. So I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, I don't really like this. I think it has to do with the jasmine, to be honest, and maybe this flower called narcissus. So when you first smell it, you definitely get that orange peel. It's like kind of sweet. It has this one note that's very sharp, and when I personally wear it, it kind of smells like sweat. I don't know what it is. There's a note in here that just does not mix well with my body. When you spray it on, when I first spray it on, it smells good, but when it dries down, it's just, it's not it. Like, I honestly thought I was I thought I was sweating. I thought it was me. But then I sprayed it again when I was inside the house and I was like, this is not it. So this is more of a decorative piece, but I feel like it's that iris note in there. There's just like some notes that just don't mix well with me, but I do want to try more fragrances from this house, but this Love and White is just not. It's just not for me. And I felt really bad because my client said this is one of her signature scents. And I usually love her taste in fragrances, but this one, it wasn't a hit for me. Okay, so the next fragrance in my collection, I actually just got a few days ago. This is Prada's Paradox Intense, I believe. They have a regular version and this is their intense version. Guys, this smells so freaking good. So the top notes are bergamot, neroli, and pear. The heart notes are neroli, jasmine, moss accord, and the base notes are ambrofix, vanilla, and almizcle blanco. So what the best way I can describe this is, I don't know if you guys have ever smelled that fragrance called Escada. I remember my mom used to wear an Escada perfume and it was like the juiciest, like it just smelled so good. And when I first sprayed this on, it smelled like that. And then it started to dry down, and in a way it kind of reminds me of Miss Dior by Dior, but this one is definitely more juicy. Miss Dior is more powdery, and I don't know, something about this fragrance I really, really like. Like, I just think that it smells so good. It's like a very sophisticated, like, powdery vanilla, but it's also kind of like juicy. I think it's that pear note in there. And then it does have jasmine, but I can't smell the jasmine in here. But honestly, so good. I really feel like this could be a signature scent for me. And I feel like this is a really good designer fragrance. Like, something about this, 10 out of 10. Okay, next fragrances I have are actually both by Mugler. This is my first time owning any Mugler fragrances. So the first one is the Angel Elixir. They have different variations of this angel perfume. So the top notes are pink pepper, middle notes are jasmine, ylang ylang, sandalwood, orange blossom, and the base notes are bourbon vanilla and amber extreme. The best way I could describe this is like it's very vanilla, to be honest. It's a very gourmand fragrance, but you do have a little bit of white florals in there. There's nothing too special about this fragrance. This is something that I tend to wear before I go to sleep. And the next one I have is Alien Goddess. This is the Supra Floral. The top notes are prickly pear, cactus flower. The middle notes are jasmine, sambac, and immortelle. And the base notes are amber, musk, and desert rose. This, oh my god, actually I get a lot of that prickly pear and cactus flower. Wow, that's actually very interesting. I didn't know that cactus flower was in there, but this smells exactly like that prickly pear cactus flower. It's an okay fragrance, to be honest, but I don't think this is something that I would reach for all the time. But the packaging is very, very interesting also. Okay, so the next fragrance that is new to my collection, this is by Okja. And this is actually a collaboration with Paul Reacts. He does a lot of like perfume videos on TikTok, and he did a collaboration with Okja. He basically said that he wanted to combine Baccarat Rouge 540 and Tom Ford's Cherry. So the top notes on this are bitter almond, sour cherry, saffron. The heart notes are warm tobacco, jasmine, sambac, rose, tonka bean, and the base notes are moss, sandalwood, amber, vanilla, and caramel. So a lot of these notes are the same as Baccarat Rouge 540, as well as Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, I believe it's called. I do own the Baccarat Rouge 540, the original and the dupe, and I also own the interpretation of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. So the best way I could describe this is, I don't know if you guys have ever smelled the Baccarat Rouge 540, the extract version, which is supposed to be sweeter. It's kind of like a syrupy, I don't know how to explain it unless you've smelled Baccarat Rouge 540, but it's more of like a syrupy version of it. This smells like that, but if you were to add cherry. So I feel like if you like both of those fragrances, this is the best of both worlds. It leans more cherry to me, but sweet, flirty. I think this is great for a first date if you want to keep it light, but you also want him to be like, oh wow, you smell like kind of delicious, you know? But really good fragrance if you love both, because it basically just combines both of them together, but very good. And the last fragrance that I have that is new to the collection, this one I actually made at this company called Olfactory. I made it on my birthday and I named it 828. This just smells so good, guys. It smells like vanilla, a little juicy. That's definitely like my thing, vanilla and juicy. Like, I don't know what it is, but it smells very good. A little bit of white floral, but I really love this. I tend to wear this a lot, just like during the day and also when I go to bed too, but very good. And now onto the fragrances that I've had in my collection for a little while. So the first one is by Replica. This is By the Fireplace. This fragrance is like the ultimate fall / winter fragrance. Like, when you just think of fall and winter, you think of this fragrance. So the top notes on this are cloves, pink pepper, orange blossom. The middle notes are chestnut, guacwood, juniper, and the base notes are vanilla, Peru balsam, and cashmere. So very nice. If you've ever smelled Bath and Body Works Marshmallow Fireside, this is basically like a dupe for it, but very woody. I think of it, it's like, say if you have a fireplace, like that crackling wood smell, but then also s'mores on top, just you roasting the marshmallows basically. I wouldn't recommend wearing this to like the office. I think it's nice like if you're going to a holiday party, but I would definitely only do one spray. But if you're like walking outside, I just think the cold, crisp air is just gonna smell so good. I personally would not wear this during spring or summer. I think this is strictly like a seasonal fragrance just because of how strong the notes are. I feel like this would be way too overpowering during the hot months. Okay, so now some fragrances from my favorite house, Maison Francis Kurkdjian. He makes some of my favorite fragrances. The fragrances smell amazing and I am a sucker for these bottles. Like, this to me is just like luxury. I don't know what it is, I love these so much. So my first fragrance from Maison Francis Kurkdjian is actually called Gentility Gold. You guys see how much I've used this. This, I was really happy this is my first fragrance with them because it just smells so good. Okay, so the notes on this are vanilla, amber, musk, woodsy notes, juniper berries, nutmeg, and coriander. It's definitely heavy in that juniper berry. This is the first fragrance that I've ever smelled juniper berries in. It's also very heavy and vanilla. So those are the two notes that really stick out to me. This is more of like a sexy vanilla. I feel like this isn't like a kiddish vanilla, if that makes sense. Like, it's a very sexy, deep vanilla, and I really think this is such a good signature fragrance, and I think that this is the perfect first fragrance for someone who wants a fragrance from a niche brand. When I think of this, I just think of like a sexy woman that has her shit put together. Like, it just smells so good. And if you've ever smelled this, I feel like you know what I'm talking about. Very sexy. I feel like if you own this, you really don't need anything else in your collection. Like, it just smells that good. I think you could wear it all year round, and I feel like this would smell good on pretty much anyone. It's just so good. Like, if you haven't smelled it, go smell it. The next fragrance by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. You guys know how I feel about Miss Baccarat Rouge 540. This has to be one of the best smelling fragrances I've ever smelled in my entire life. I know people say it's overrated, but sorry, I can't agree with you. This fragrance smells so good. The first time I smelled it, I thought it smelled really bad. It was like on a piece of paper, and I think because a lot of people describe it as having a medicinal smell. So like, if you've ever been to like a doctor's office or something, it just kind of reminds them of that. When I think of medicinal, I think of like herbs, like herbal medicine. That's what I think of when I smell medicinal. That's what I get from this. And it just like, honestly, this is just the best smelling fragrance in my opinion. This is personally my signature scent. So the notes on this, the top notes are saffron, jasmine, which it's very strong in that saffron smell. The middle notes are amberwood and ambergris, and the base notes are fir resin and cedar. This is just like, honestly, it just smells so good. And the last fragrance in my collection is by KILLIAN. This is I Don't Need a Prince by My Side to Be a Princess, another one of my signature scents. So the top notes on this are lemon, the middle notes are green tea, ginger, peach, hedone, jasmine, and apple, and the base notes are marshmallow, vanilla, and benzoin. I feel, okay, so when I first smell this, I definitely get the lemon, I get the green tea, and I get the marshmallow. I don't really get ginger. I do get peach, not really the jasmine. I smell a little bit of the apple. That's probably like the lemon note that I'm smelling also, but this is just so yummy. I like to wear this when I go out on dates with my boyfriend. I think it's just such like a fun, like flirty fragrance. But if you want to do a little mix, this and Baccarat Rouge 540, amazing. So the best way I could describe this fragrance is powdered marshmallow. So like powdered sugar on top of marshmallows, just like very powdery. You get that green tea too, like a slightly matcha-ish, and then lemon. It just smells so good. If you are a gourmand girl, this is the fragrance for you, like I'm telling you. And just some fragrances on my wish list. My first one is from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. It is Oud Satin Mood. This is like a powerhouse fragrance. So this fragrance definitely has a lot of oud, but this is so sexy. It's definitely more of a nighttime fragrance, but honestly, this just smells so good. I got a little sample from Bloomingdale's, and I feel like this, so good. The next fragrance on my list is by Parfums de Marly, but Delina exclusive. Oh my god, I went to go smell that fragrance, and it honestly smells so good. I can't like even describe to you how good that scent smells. I smell the original, but the Delina exclusive is just like, it is amazing. That would definitely be the most expensive. Actually, no, the most expensive fragrance I own is this Love and White one, but that one would be the second most expensive because that, oh my god, I feel like it might be worth it. It just smells so good. And the last two fragrances on my wish list are a Black Saffron and Super Cedar from BYREDO. My friend actually wears them combined together, and whenever I smell it, I know she's around because that's definitely like her signature scent, but those two fragrances just smell absolutely amazing. So that is my updated perfume collection. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know if you guys like these fragrance videos. I'm sorry if my explanations aren't the best. I'm definitely trying, but you guys can see I tend to like the same notes and stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your signature scent is and if you guys have any fragrances on your wish list, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!